Good morning, good afternoon. Hey, hi, hello, how are ya? See if we can keep some live stream going. It's a little shaky in here this morning. I'm here to check in with my body as usual. Do a little letting go, a little de-stressing is in order. I'm going to adjust this, pardon the extreme close-up. Anyway, as usual, I invite you to join me if you feel like joining me to whatever degree feels good in your body. I encourage you to at least take a deep breath and then let it go. Maybe add a little shoulder shrug and just let that go. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, clenching everything up, and then just blowing it off. I like to imagine I'm sticking gold dust onto all my bones and sinews, breathing in. And then just blowing it off back into the universe. Thank you for the love. I do appreciate it. Just letting go of the stresses that have accumulated through the night, through the day. Because you know what? There's more stresses on the way. I spilled over the threshold of stress most of the night. It happens to me from time to time. And so I'm happy to be feeling a little bit calmer this morning, but I'm still, as you can probably sense, pretty wound up, a little on edge, a little on that fight or flight mode, which is I'm just a high-strung machine, high-strung feeling meat machine. And so it's important to take time every day for me to de-stress, to manage that, to bring my stress level back down between those thresholds so that I can function. And I know I'm not alone. That's why I'm sharing it. We all have, different thresholds. Thresholds move at different times. But it's important if you recognize that you're spilling over that threshold and getting stressed and anxious and falling into the fight or flight, parasympathetic nervous system, reactionary kind of mode. It's important to recognize that. Take a deep breath, let it go. Here's a quick tool that helps reset the nervous system. It's 2 short breaths in and then 1 long breath out. Let's do it together. I'm going to do it 3 times. Shake that off a little bit is good. Shake it to the left and shake it to the right. Imagine that it's just floating and cascading and bouncing off the back like water off a duck's back, water off a mountain, through a waterfall. All right. All that said and done, I'm still feeling high-strung. I did not sleep much last night. And that's another good time to just point out things like that, like not enough sleep, the wrong kind of foods, emotional upheaval, loss in your life, trauma, unknowns. All that takes up bandwidth and pushes us closer to cascading over that threshold of stress management. So it's extra important when we are dealing with extra stresses to take extra time to take extra good care of ourselves. Because you're worthy of your own love. I'm worthy of my own love. We are worthy. It's pretty amazing to be alive. Pretty amazing to be a human being. Sometimes I have to remind myself. I extend the reminder to you. I'm going to take a breath or so. Bring my attention into the bottoms of my feet. Root my feet into the center of the earth. Hang myself from the center of the sky. Nice and strong and long. And then I'm going to take a nice swan dive down, bending from the hips. That's below the waist. The waist right here where you put your hands on your hips. Do it with me. Put your hands on your hips. That's what we call the waist. Now come down here and put your hands on your legs, where your legs come in to the hips. That's your actual hip socket. I'm going to bend from right there, swan diving down with a relatively flat back, coming all the way down past the waist. And just hang here for a breath or so. Letting that go. I'm going to twist a little to the left, twist a little to the right, Come back to center. I'm going to do that again. Twisting to the left, and this time I'm going to lift that left arm high. Gazing up past that left arm, just adding even more twist, giving those organs a nice ringing out, friendly hello. Coming back to center, I'm going to use both hands on both legs to pull down and back a little bit, relaxing the belly, relaxing the back. And then I'm going to use left hand on right foot to come over to this side for a little twist, and then lifting this right arm, gazing past the right fingertips. Again, giving all those organs a nice hug, a good morning squeeze, a good afternoon hello. I'm going to bring that down, come back to center, again pulling toward the back, relaxing the belly, relaxing the back, really getting a nice stretch through the legs. And then I'm going to bend the knees. I'm going to step this way a little so I don't hit dome. Bend the knees, swing the arms back, and come on up into a counter stretch, pushing those hips forward, lifting the eyes and the chest. And then coming back to center. Shake all that out again. Yep. It feels good to be alive, but sometimes it's a lot of sensation to manage in here for me. Did I mention I'm a highly sensitive feeling meat machine? Stepping back with the left foot, pulling that back hip forward, forward hip back, tipping the tailbone under, looking for a nice long and strong line through the core, supported with the spine and the abdomen. Pushing into that back heel, checking that this front toe is not, the front knee is not crunching past the toes. I'm going to sink into that lunge a little bit longer or a little bit deeper. Bringing the arms up overhead, making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders. I'm going to bring these arms down to focus on my fingertips, rolling the shoulders back and down. Still pulling that back hip forward, forward hip back, tipping the tailbone under. And with sharp focus, I'm going to focus on my fingertips. And then I'm going to turn that to a soft gaze using what I call soft eyes, gazing out toward the imagined horizon, noticing my peripheral view, not focusing on any one thing specifically, and imagining that I'm seeing all the way around the universe, around my heart, wrapping around the heart, wrapping around the earth to see the back of my own head. And then I'm going to shift again to sharp focus on my fingertips. This is a really good exercise, again, for extending the thresholds for stress management and just resetting the nervous system. Yeah, I find it helpful. So focusing on the fingertips and then focusing out toward the horizon, all the way wrapping around my heart to see the back of my own head. And then again, fingertips, sharp focus, sharp eyes, precise perception, and then soft eyes, noticing more the vibrational quality of things, noticing how far out I can see to either side, and imagining that vision wrapping around my heart, wrapping around the earth, touching the back of my own head. Now I'm going to shift this back heel onto the perpendicular line, opening the hips, swinging this knee out, opening this hip this way, still trying to stay nice and long and strong through the core, and exploring the side plane here. Hi Lisa, hi Rishi, it's good to see you out there. Hope you're taking good care of you. Thank you for the love. I'm going to bend from the hips, coming into a side twisting triangle, sliding that back heel out a little bit, and using my right arm and leg against each other for torque and support, bringing this left hand up to gaze up past the fingertips, giving everybody a nice squeeze again, a little wringing out of the internal organs. I'm going to increase that wringing out, bringing this arm around the back side to reach for this thigh, giving a nice twist. I get a lot of crackles and pops through there, just giving that a little time to adjust. Still trying to stay nice and long and strong in the supporting leg and arm. There's a temptation to just collapse into that. Try to lift through that leg. I'm going to unwind all of that, shifting onto that back toe, and bring both arms on the inside of this front leg for a nice deep lunge here, and then bringing weight onto those hands. I'm going to bring the front foot back to meet the back foot and pressing through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing the heart toward the earth, pressing into those heels for a nice downward facing dog or upside down triangle or tent pose, whatever you want to call it. What else you could call it? An isosceles is not quite that. I can imagine it. I'm going to swing the body forward now, scooping the chest through the shoulders, lifting the eyes and the chest, keeping the legs together, using the butt to protect the low back by keeping that butt together, legs together, and just letting the belly drop, relax. I add some tongue stretch and a little audible letting go of stress. Every little bit helps. And I'm going to lift the hips, pushing again through the palms, through the spine, tipping the tailbone to the back of the head, and pushing into those heels. Let's tread the heels, bending the right knee, pressing into the left, bending the left knee, pressing into the right, and again, pressing into the left, and into the right, pressing into both heels, tipping the tailbone. Then I'm going to swing this left foot forward in between the hands for a nice deep lunge. So just the shirt over the rolls. It's all good. And I'm going to step forward with this back foot into a forward fold again. Hanging here. It's a good time to remind you, you don't need any special outfit, any special space, or even any special moves. I'm going to roll up, just checking in with each vertebra. Just start checking in, giving yourself a little more love, a little more playfulness, a little bit more movement, a little bit more strength, a little bit more flexibility, just a little bit more. You can get to a little bit more from anywhere that you are. It's a beautiful thing about life. I'm going to reroute myself from the bottoms of my feet into the earth. I thought I heard somebody knocking at my door, distracted me. I'm going to step back with the right foot now into a moderate lunge, pulling that back hip forward, forward head back, tipping the tailbone under, checking that this front knee is not crunching past the toes, pushing into that back heel. I'm going to bring the arms up again. I'm going to have to scooch over just a little bit. Bringing the arms up, making sure not to crunch up in those shoulders, and then bringing these fingertips down, rolling the shoulders back and down, and using sharp focus on my fingertips. And then soft eyes, gazing out past the horizon, noticing my peripheral view, wrapping that around my heart, around the earth, around the universe, to gaze at the back of my own head. And then sharp focus on my fingertips again. And then soft eyes out at the horizon. Sharp focus again on the fingertips. Still pulling that back hip forward, forward hip back, looking for a perpendicular line with the hips. And again, soft focus all the way around the earth, around my heart, gazing at the back of my own head with long, soft eyes. I'm going to shift this back heel onto the perpendicular line, opening the hips now, swinging this knee out that way and opening this hip this way. It's more of an internal mindfulness sensation, but you'll find you find that energy follows thought. Thought follows form, line follows. Anyway, I got into drawing class for a second. Point being, if you imagine energetically this hip opening, you might be surprised to find how much you can feel that sensation, even if you can't see perceivably a shift energetically and muscularly. There's an opening sensation that you can get without much motion. I'm exploring the side plane here, and I'm going to slide that back heel out. I'm hitting the log. Sliding that back foot out, bending again from the hips into a side twisting triangle, bringing that left arm down on the inside of that left leg, not falling over as I raise the right arm to gaze past those fingertips, using my left arm and leg against each other for torque and support, getting a nice twist, a nice hug through the midsection, giving all those organs a little wringing out, And I'm going to bring this hand around to reach for the back of this thigh, increasing that ringing out. Saying hello to everybody. Oh, I don't know how everybody's doing today. They're a little bit ragged from all the work I've been doing on myself. I'm going to bring this arm back around. Bring that on the inside of this front foot, swinging onto the toes and bringing weight onto the hands. I'm going to bring this foot back to meet the back foot, pressing through downward facing dog again. Pressing into the heels, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing the heart toward the center of the earth. Palms are firm and strong, fingers are wide. Pressing into both those heels. And then I'm going to swing the body forward again, lifting the chest through the shoulders, keeping the legs squeezed together, keeping the butt squeezed together, and letting the belly just drop. A little tongue stretch. If you feel like it, I like to rock a little on my toes sometimes, kind of change that stretch up and really relax the belly. Just let the belly go. Just sag the belly. But don't let the shoulders go, pushing up through the shoulders, lifting the eyes, dropping through the belly. Again, a nice stretch through the front. And then lifting those hips, pushing back again through downward facing dog, tipping the tailbone toward the back of the head, pressing the heart toward the earth, pushing into those heels. I'm going to swing that right foot forward in between the hands into another nice deep lunge. On the other side this time. Giving that just a little bounce before I step forward with the back foot to meet the front foot. And again, hang here and forward fold. Letting all of that go, just releasing, relaxing. I'm going to shake that out just a little bit down here. And then I'm going to roll up again, just stacking each vertebra on the next, just checking in with each one. Coming up into this counter stretch, lifting the chest, lifting the eyes, swinging the arms back, pushing the hips forward. And coming back to neutral. Shake that out just a little bit. I'm going to do a little simple Qigong-esque breathing, which is just, I'm going to bend the knees, bring the arms up slowly, breathing in on the way up, expanding the lungs. That's pulling down with the diaphragm and expanding the lungs in all directions. Fill in with love and lightness, and then just again squeezing, compressing the diaphragm, compressing the lungs. And I'm going to do what's called box breathing while I do that. Hand motion, which is just a way of describing a breath that is relatively even. Breath in, hold, breath out, hold. So we're going to, doesn't really matter the amount of time, it's trying to get it to be even. So you go at your own pace, I'm going to go at my own pace and see if we can even that out. I'm hitting dome. Shake that out a little bit. Whew, yep. If you are in a fight or flight parasympathetic mode today, as I find myself in and out of, it's a good time for me to remind you that it's okay. You're okay. I'm okay. We're going to be okay. And I think the first step of getting out of that is to recognize that's what you are, where you are, and that it's temporary, and that you're worthy of your own love. And probably, in most cases, like if you're watching me on the internet, probably everything is actually just fine, as it is for me. I wish you a fantastic day. I'm not done yet. I'm going to do a little balancing. I was about to sign off, and then I remembered, I don't know what time it is. This thing does not show me the time. That's all right. Maybe somebody can tell me the time. I'm going to bring my weight onto the right foot and bring this left knee up toward left shoulder, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the supporting side, tipping the tailbone under a little bit. Give her a nice long and strong line through the core. And then I'm going to reach for the bottom of this boot. Still just relaxing that supporting side. I'm going to enjoy a little stretch through the shoulders, just letting the weight of my foot and leg kind of pull through the shoulders and arms. And then I'm going to pull back with the shoulders and arms, taking control of this foot, tipping the tailbone under again, and straightening that leg as much as possible out front. Doing a nice forward fold and a little balance there. This can be done sitting on the floor, or laying on the floor, in your chair. Do a modified version from wherever you are, or do something completely different if you feel like it. It's all good. I'll bring this out to the left side and just enjoy this hip socket a little bit. Explore it. And then I'm going to bend that knee, bring this foot onto the supporting side, in close to the groin. Still opening these hips, so I'm swinging that knee out toward the outside. Helps if you have a dome roof handy to hang on to, but do make sure that you're somewhere safe to catch yourself if you're doing balancing exercises, or that you have a nice padded floor, and remember to roll with it. I'm just going to find a moment of peace and clarity here. Taking a couple breaths. Imagine myself a long-standing mountain covered in soft needle trees and gentle dancing breeze. Releasing all of that. Set that down and stomp it out a little. Bring my weight over to the left. Bringing this right knee up toward right shoulder. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the supporting side. Tucking the tailbone under. Realizing I didn't do ankle rotations on that side. My poor ankles are stiff. Maybe I'll add one to the other side. I'm going to reach for the bottom of that foot first, though, and enjoy that stretch through the shoulders, through the neck a little bit. Through the arms, just letting the weight of my foot kind of pull on all that, and then pulling back with the arms and the shoulders, tucking the tailbone under, relaxing that supporting foot, and straightening the right leg as much as possible out front. Giving that a breath or so to try to relax. It's not interested in relaxing right now, so just going to bring it out to the side. Explore that hip socket a little bit. Sometimes when I check in with my body, it says, I'm really not okay and we just need to get through the day. It doesn't happen to me that often, but it does happen. And as I become more and more aware of my incredible emotional navigation system and how to use it, I'm just becoming more and more aware that that does happen, maybe more often than a lot of us are aware of, and it's important to take time to reset, take time to reduce that stress level or raise the threshold, whatever, maybe a little from column A and a little from column B. It's important to find some moments of calm, which I'm going to do. I'll also swing this hip open by swinging that knee out. Looking for a nice, long, strong, supportive line through the core, relaxing that supporting foot. Hitting domes. I'm going to keep my hands here. And again, just imagine myself a long-standing, tree-covered mountain dancing with the breeze. Releasing that. Stomp that out. Shake that out. Let's do just a little hip stretching side to side. Just taking weight off the left and pushing into the right, and weight off the right and pushing into the left. And one more time on the right and the left. I'm going to come and do a straddle and do some hip dips, bringing that stretch into the inner thighs. Dipping on the left, dipping on the right, and on the left, and on the right. I feel like I need about another hour of this to even remember where my center is, but that's okay. I don't have an hour, so I'm going to make do with this quick, short and sweet check. I'm going to do a little tapping as I focus on the bottoms of my feet. This tapping here, you've probably seen me do tapping, various kinds of tapping, and you can look that up and see there's a lot of cool research and usefulness to that. This particular tapping on the chest, you had a vagus nerve down here that we're still discovering everything that it does, but one of the things that we know that it does is help regulate that nervous system in a major way. And tapping here can actually help the vagus nerve. It can help lift the energy of the vagus nerve if it's suppressed, and it can help reduce the energy of the vagus nerve if it's overexcited. Basically just helping to bring some balance, calmness. Again, lifting those, widening that threshold of stress so that you don't spill over and fall into the pit of despair. If you do, you might find me there, but I'm trying to stay out of it. I wish you the best of luck, the best of days. I hope you remember that you are worthy of your own unconditional love. And doesn't have to be a long time, doesn't have to be a short time. Give yourself a quick check whenever you think of it. Take a deep breath and let that go. Or at least set it down for a little bit. You can pick it back up when you're done if you want. I'm going to do my 100 any reps, and I'm going to do my inversions, but I'm going to sign off for today. Thank you for stopping by. It sure is good to see some of you out there. I have a lot of changes going on in my universe, but I'm really going to try to maintain my wellness, and part of my wellness plan is sharing a little body check with you. So let me know if there's something you'd like to see more or less of, if there's something I can do for you. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'll be seeing you. Peace.